Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. Today, I want to talk about a topic that's on everybody's minds right now, or at least on a lot of people's minds, because I keep getting asked about it in my live chats every evening. And by the way, we have a live chat every night, 6 p.m. Pacific time, except for Mondays and Wednesdays when it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to come join in the conversation, please do so. We usually try to have a good time. And it sometimes gets a little non-PC, so if you're real sensitive, maybe don't come. But if you like to have a little bit of fun and enjoy talking about issues related to the Second Amendment and freedom in general, come on over. But like I said, I keep getting asked about a specific topic in the chats lately. It is this leak of an FBI document that pretty much a lot of people are portraying it as saying, hey, if people use these symbols, they're probably extremists or terrorists, etc. You know, it's just a little pamphlet front and back of, here's things to look out for. It's kind of some profiling, basically, which a lot of people hate profiling, but profiling is actually a part of police work and investigative work. It's one of the things you learn first. So I want to address it. First off, this comes from an organization. I'm not going to say their name. I finally traced it back to the first article that I could find. And it's an organization I'd say is controversial and somewhat loose with their interpretation of the facts, so I'm not going to mention their name. I would trust them as far as, blind trust, as far as I would trust, moms demand action. They're about on the same level of partisanship. So I'm not going to say their name, but I am going to deal with the pamphlet, and we're going to talk about it. There's going to be two levels here I'm going to talk about. One, people probably aren't going to like what I say first, but then I want to get into something a little deeper and a little more nefarious. First off, I want to talk about the pamphlet itself. The pamphlet itself is a mountain being made out of a molehill. It's pretty typical stuff in law enforcement. I know a lot of people haven't been in law enforcement or had any experience in investigations, but it's basically saying that these type of people tend to latch onto these types of symbols or things. So if you are suspecting something might be this or that, and you see it in conjunction with these symbols, well, then you might want to look closer because they tend to co-opt these symbols. They're basically saying, violent extremist groups who try to justify their existence, even though they're nothing but a violent extremist group, will latch on to things like the Gadsden flag symbol or the Spartan symbol. Does that mean everybody who has a Gadsden flag or a Spartan symbol is a terrorist or an extremist? No. It's just something they tend to gravitate towards. It's like saying, mass shooters like trench coats. That doesn't mean everybody buys a trench coat is a mass shooter, but if you see someone walking into a school building with a trench coat on, that might be a reason to investigate because they like trench coats. It's like saying, if you suspect someone's a child molester and they got a mustache, well, then you might want to look even closer because that increases the odds that they're a child molester. Because not everyone that has a mustache, of course, is a child molester, but pretty much all child molesters have mustaches. That's basically the level of what this report is. It doesn't say anything real extreme. It doesn't say if you have a Gadsden flag, you're a terrorist, or if you put a Spartan symbol on your AR, you're a terrorist, or any of these things. It's just a list of things that a particular group of bad guys tend to gravitate towards. Goth kids like black lipstick nose rings. Does that mean everyone that has a nose ring is a goth kid, or everybody buys black lipstick as a goth kid? No. But if they're buying nose rings and black lipstick, you could probably make an assumption that, I suspect this is a goth kid. I need to check out and see if they are, if I'm really that interested. But substitute goth kid with terrorist and substitute nose rings and black lipstick with other things that they like to gravitate towards. Because here's the thing, bad people like to attach themselves to good things to try to justify their message. When someone's out there preaching racism and hatred and division, they'll often fly a Gadsden flag. Because they think that it validates them as a person and validates their message. They latch onto something good and they try to stick something bad behind it. That's not unusual. It's typical. You can see tons of lists like this for lots of other things to watch out for. They're just a little watch list. It's an unclassified document. It's not like this is top secret. It's just, it is what it is. And it's not that nefarious. I know a lot of people like to scream wolf and the sky is falling all the time. And anyone that's been doing that over this document, they're pretty much telling you who they are. They're a sensationalist. So pay attention yourself. ask someone who's been in law enforcement what something like this means, it's not a big deal. It's pretty common. And this is not the first time it's been around or anything like that. And it in no way says these symbols are bad. It's just saying that bad people who try to disguise bad messages, they like to wrap them in popular symbols and meaningful, good symbols. So not a big deal. But here's the thing. It is an indicator of attitude, and it is something that they want to indoctrinate people to. Because here's the thing. When they point out that, hey, white supremacists love to fly the Gadsden flag, or love to fly the Spartan symbol, or love the Punisher logo, when they say things like that, they're teaching people to associate those positive things, and those are all positive things. Punisher's fucking cool. Gadsden flag is a part of our culture, and it's a mindset that people would be better off if they didn't forget. But what they're doing is they're demonizing these positive images by saying, well, yeah, the image might be positive, but remember, the people who fly them, they're bad people trying to tell you bad things. And when they are able to indoctrinate people into that belief, when they are able to convince everyday people that these are bad things, it reduces the ability of the 98% of the people who fly these symbols who are good people. It reduces their ability to get their message out. Because people see the flag and they say, white supremacist. They see the Punisher symbol or the Spartan symbol and they're like, yeah, violent extremist. When 98+% of the people that have those symbols out there are just as good as the symbols themselves. They believe in what the Gadsden flag stands for. They believe in what the Spartan symbol stands for. Mulan Levy. They're good people using good symbols. But every bad group always tries to adopt the symbols of good people so that you start to think they're good people. And the people in power, law enforcement, in this case, FBI, and FBI is the chief law enforcement agency in the country. And local police departments, city police, etc., they all take their lead from the FBI. This is something that they are trying to do as a law enforcement agency. They're trying to convince the people that, hey, if that guy on the street corner sounds like he's making sense, if he's talking about how we're just here to protect the status quo and we're not here to protect you, blah, 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 don't pay attention to him because he's flying that symbol. And that symbol, although you might think it's a good symbol, it's something that bad guys wrap themselves in. It's like the American flag. I've always said, never trust anyone who wraps themselves in a flag. If I meet someone and their outfit is designed like an American flag, one, I find it offensive, and two, I know that person probably doesn't understand one bit about what this country's about. My grandfather, a veteran of multiple divisions, he was in the Army, the Marines, National Guard, fought in many wars, Korea, Vietnam, World War II, was as American as you can come. He even was very racist, old man racist. But he used to say, beware anyone that wraps themselves in the flag, because if they do that, they're trying to hide something else and they probably don't even know what the flag stands for. They're using it as camouflage. It's the same thing with these symbols. Bad people are using good things as camouflage. Because, let's face it, if you were a bad guy for having a Gadsden flag, well, I'm a terrorist because there's a Gadsden flag hanging on my wall right there. If I was a bad guy or a terrorist because I put Punisher symbols on things, well, I'm clearly a terrorist. I'm a terrorist, you're a terrorist, wouldn't you like to be a terrorist too? Is kind of would be the motto, because we'd fucking all be terrorists. Now, they would love to convince people of that. So I can understand when you see things like that, you say to people, keep this in context. Most of us don't support the messages that come from behind these flags. That little tiny percentage of the message. We present, like when the Gadsden flag is presented and people speak and tell the truth, we support that. And we support the flag they're standing in front of. But when bad people, that 2% or whatever, get in front of it and preach evil, we don't support that. Just because they have the flag behind them, we don't support that. Now, we could be better as a community of saying, no more of this shit. We're going to call you out when you do this shit in front of our symbols. Stop trying to appropriate our culture, because that's what it is. It's a violent, extremist part of society trying to appropriate the culture of patriots. And we need to stop letting that happen. We need to start being more visible about that and more vocal about that, saying, you don't belong in front of that flag. You don't represent what that flag stands for. Like a lot of times when people wrap themselves in the American flag, I'm like, you don't represent what that flag stands for. If you're wrapping yourself in the flag and saying everybody that doesn't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem should be taken away and put in prison, you don't understand what that flag stands for and you shouldn't be wrapped in it. So this is just the same thing. It is more about the status quo and the powers that be trying to maintain that status quo by demonizing the symbols that most people who believe in freedom and independence, etc., also believe in. So if they are capable of demonizing these symbols, then they will silence the message of good people who associate themselves with these symbols. That's their main goal. That's what they want to do in the future. This is not about catching bad guys and saying, okay, well, this is a symptom of, a terrorist. They'll hide themselves behind these symbols. They know that. Everyone already knows that. What they're doing is trying to openly demonize good symbols so that good people will lose their voice in this country. All right, everybody, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you come back on Monday. Until then, I want to remind everyone we're still doing the Fur Friend Animal Rescue fundraiser. So if you haven't gone over to tympistolproject.com and bought yourself one of the stickers or one of the posters, and you can afford to do so, and you want to help out a good cause, animal shelters right now, animal rescues are struggling because of the record number of abused, abandoned, and neglected pets. So if you can help one stay in business and keep helping our little furry friends, please do so. Like I said, go over to my website. There's a link in the upper corner of this video. Donate to the cause, and depending on how much you donate, you'll get a little prize like a sticker or a poster, whatever. You just buy them and you're really making a donation, and that's just a gift for donating. And you'll be entered, different number of entries for each item. It's there listed on the page. You'll be entered into a drawing, which we'll be doing here probably on the 10th, where the winner will receive an $800 gift certificate to the online retailer of their choice. So go over there, help out a good cause, and have a chance at winning yourself a nice little prize. And I am now out of here. Like I said, thanks for coming. I do appreciate it. I hope you come back again on Monday. Until then, I want to remind everyone out there to always carry and stay safe until I see you again. Damn it. I am a grown-ass man.